Welcome to video tutorial 10. It is the last video in the author series on properly preparing your chapter to be submitted for an ebook or a hard copy volume. Most of these rules will also hold true for journal articles. The only difference is the journal article uses a little bit different template, and you can get that template by visiting the URL at the bottom of your screen here in the video's description. One of the most important things about preparing your chapter for submitting to Interdisciplinary Press is proofreading. Very often we receive chapters with misspelled words, and it's common. It happens all the time. You are in the moment and you're creating something and you're kind of blinded to your own chapter. So I need to stress to you the importance of going through your chapter and reading it again and checking for those spelling rules. If you have Microsoft Word, which is what we have used for these tutorials, Microsoft Word will pull up certain things that are erroneous, and they'll let you know by underlining it, such as this particular example here. And green lines will show up as grammar rules that Microsoft Word thinks that you've broken. What it does not do is it will not catch words that should have been used in place of another word. In other words, you may have spelled the word so correctly as S-O, but you really meant to spell the word so as in using a needle and thread, S-E-W. Well, S-O is the correct spelling of a word, and the word is pronounced so, but it's used out of context. So it's always best to read through your chapter completely again. I would also suggest that you print off a copy of your chapter and hand it off to someone else in your house, a coworker, a friend, and have them read through it and take a look for those errors. And this will help to ensure that your chapter is error-free, which is really, really that's what you want to have printed, because this is your work and your name is going to be on this work. Okay, in order to make sure that your chapter is reading correctly for UK English, which you can see down here in the corner in the left that this one is, but the way that we're going to make sure that your chapter is looking for UK English spelling is we're going to select all. We're going to use the Review tab and select Language. Select Set Proofing Language. Scroll down if you need to UK English. Then make sure that the box next to Do Not Check Spelling or Grammar is unchecked and hit OK. You're also going to need to do the same thing on your Notes section. The Notes section, once inserted properly, as you will see from video tutorial number 6, the Notes section and Bibliography sections will not be included in that first Select All, so you'll need to do it for this section as well. And you do the same steps. Set Proofing Language, select UK English, make sure that's not checked, and click OK. Some of the little things that we'll want you to look for is if you've used any titles in your chapter, for instance the Matrix trilogy, all those titles need to be italicized, and those are titles of movies, full volumes, journals, magazine titles, things like that. Something that is a major work. If you're using small poetry, like small production plays, things of that nature, those will go inside of single quotation marks. Just like with the notes and bibliography sections that we talked about in tutorial number 8 about formatting notes, in your chapter, you're also going to want to use single quotation marks to mark direct quotes, and you may also use those for emphasis as well. For instance, here is a direct quote. You'll notice that the direct quote is sitting inside of single quotation marks. Now, if that quote contains something else that has been quoted, is sitting inside of quotation marks for emphasis, let's say human condition was set by that author as emphasized. For IDP, for interdisciplinary press, those quotation marks need to be double quotation marks. So again, dialogue is marked with single, and quotes inside of quotes are marked with double. And that's true for everything. Let's see, one other thing that I wanted to go over is the use of ampersand. We do not allow the use of ampersand in place of the word and here. The only difference would be if the ampersand is used in the name of a company. So let's say that the title of, the name of the publisher on a book that you're referencing is G.P. Putnam and Sons, and it appears in print with the ampersand. You may go ahead and use that ampersand. But for instance here, it's replacing the word and when it's separating the two cities, and you need to spell out the word and for that. Another common error that we see is the spacing in between sentences. You'll want to make sure that all the spacing in between your sentences is set to single space. And there's an easy way to do this. On the Home tab, choose Replace, and then in Find What, hit your space key twice. Tab down to Replace With, and hit your space key once. Then choose Replace All. It will replace every single instance of using double spacing in between sentences in your chapter. Another thing that we want you to do for all chapters in ebooks and hard copies is not to use the words paper or essay or article to describe what you have turned in. What you are turning in is a chapter in a book, and we prefer that you use chapter instead of any of those other three. Again, using the Find and Replace. In the Find What, use paper, tab down, and in Replace With What, type in chapter. And I capitalized that, didn't mean to. And then for this particular one, since sometimes you use like the word newspaper in your article, if you were to hit Replace All, whatever said newspaper before would say news chapter. So you will want to do this one by one. And to do that, you use Find Next. It will find every instance, and you can choose to replace it, or you can move on to the next one. The next thing that you may want to take a look at is the use of double quotation marks and single quotation marks, as we had just talked about earlier. You can fix any instance that you may have overlooked by using this Find and Replace. In the Find What, use a double quotation mark. In Replace With, use a single quotation mark. And then simply scroll down using your Find Next. It's going to bring you to that instance. Now, if you don't know, it's best just to read the sentence. And from reading this, I can see that this is a quote inside of a quote. So I'm not going to replace that. I'm going to move on to the next one. And it's going to walk you all the way through this actual chapter, all the way down through your bibliography entries as well. Here you can see that double quotation marks have been used. And I'm going to find that again. And I'm going to replace this. It's there, and it needs to be replaced. This, again, in your notes and bibliographies, just the same as direct quotes, single quotes to mark chapter titles, article titles, etc. I'm going to replace that, and it'll walk you all the way through to the end. Another thing that you may wish to do before you turn your chapter in is go ahead and select all again. One more time. Actually, let's do it up here. Select all. And then up here under the Home tab where it says Font, let's just make sure that all of the fonts have been turned black. And this concludes this video tutorial and the video tutorial series. The next thing that you will want to do is save your chapter. And the best thing to save your chapter with is your last name and the title of your conference. This helps us to place your chapter correctly. When you send it in, please send in your chapter to the Interdisciplinary.Net address that was included in your post-conference email. It is still to 2014 during the making of this video. So you would send your chapter to IDP 2014 at Inter-Disciplinary.Net. All chapters must come through Interdisciplinary.Net before they are sent on to the editor. Please don't send your chapter in to your editor, if you know who your editor is yet, or to your project leader. All chapters must come to us first, and the reason for that is so that we can ensure you that it is placed in the right area, that your editor does get a copy of it, and that your chapter will be moving on to the next phase, which is editing. Thank you very much for watching this video tutorial series.